All right, everybody, let's get off for a Thursday. Actually, let's congratulate the first winner, first one in for the gold membership. And who was that? Who came in there? Not a gamer. You have to reach out to the gold Discord. Go over to the basic members page over on Harmonic Trader. Okay, connect with the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, people, I think you're missing out. There's a lot of things I'm posting there that I'm not posting as much on Twitter, but more on the Discord. So get on the basic members page, and then again, everyone, send your username to hpc at sr-analyst to get the TradingView software so we can talk about the mega patterns like this in Apple and all the other ones. How far is this stuff going to go? Because this is demonstrative price action. So big shout out to everyone in the chat. Welcome here on a Thursday. We're here Tuesday and Thursday. Our Harmonic Pattern podcast, number 215 today. What's going on, Brandon, Hugo, Miss Stephanie, Brain Freeze, Evan, Neelam, Squirrely, Lawrence, Masterson, Rudy, everyone else? What do you guys think of the Meta, Apple, Microsoft just continue to do this thing? And that's not going to change. That's really what we should be thinking about all summer long. I've been saying that past few weeks. And for things like Apple, already showing you some clear bullish continuation. Amazing that we've had Take a look at this. Apple's had one HSI bearish signal, bearish, two bearish signals, but no dot. And every week is a higher low. Almost every week is a higher high. And this is breaking out all-time high on the verge above 182. That could hit tomorrow. And that's a major development. That's something that didn't happen 2 days ago, but it's there now. Like Microsoft, like NVIDIA, Apple, these weekly charts, saying a lot. I mean, again, saying a lot more than I think other people have been saying for a while. How high is absolutely the question of what's the magnitude of this breakout. For Apple, straight up, it's a type 2 off of this bat. It was a type 1. That is absolutely where it triggered everything down there around 130. Came back for the type 2, and it's just has blown out. Steady continuation. I'm got to think that the way this is rallying into earnings coming into July, yeah, you've got 6 weeks. So if people are just under allocated Apple, and the rest of those mega cap tech going into earnings for July, we got this 6-week window. That's how I'm thinking about it, playing it. Let's take a look at really quick NVIDIA, because it's been quite a mover after the fact, after it jumped 394. But look at the last 5-minute, on the 5-minute chart, the last couple of sessions. This thing has been moving. Look at the patterns going on at NVIDIA. Beautiful hop level crab pattern that triggered overnight yesterday in the pre-market, 381, trying to put a floor down there. And maybe what you're looking at is after the monster move, that's a high level deep crab pattern. But something up to make a run at 400 for the target one. And then take your time. But no doubt this is major development, and I think we can translate this to other things like Netflix. So this is probably the list that we should be hitting on. Amazing. Netflix was 330 last week, and now it's 400. I've alluded to this setup as a target for Netflix, and I think it's probably what we should be playing for immediately, where we have this ABCD structure that is developed, strong breakout, follow through, no bearish candle on the weekly, and amazingly, Netflix is barely at a 50% retracement off of the bear market decline from last year. Go to the 618, that's 500. So these are targets, definite targets to be shooting for. And look for your 5-minute pullbacks. I mean, we had a few. Right now we're dealing with this. Looks like it's going to break it out. I mean, it's amazing. But you go back to stuff like that at 360, and that was just on the 26th. And then we had some things. Where was the other stuff at 330? Down here. Yeah, we had some things at 330, and that was 2 weeks ago. So within the scope of the next 6 weeks, that's the kind of thing you want to size up. Let's jump over really quick to Microsoft, because that is going to make the run to this all-time 886, and that has printed some 5-minute patterns on this latest pullback, which is exactly what we want to look for. This might be kind of first thrust reaction up to 330. Maybe we go higher. I would prefer to see the type 2 come back down like that and then set it up for maybe next week where you really get going and make the run all the way back to the 886. Again, let's develop these targets. Software is trying to print patterns at 330, and I think the 886 as kind of a top end level for this whole area. It's just above it, 335, and then we'll see. Again, the individual price action that will come when we get up there will tell us the magnitude of the move. If it's going to bust out now, it'll annihilate the 886. It does look like this stuff's ramping. The other one that's, I think, playing catch up that's going to get there, and these mega cap tech stocks are doing that across the board. You got to start looking at Tesla again for this bigger move because the last 2 weeks have been quite nice, ideal for the shark. I think 210 off of just this little shark pattern we've been mentioning is for now. But look at the fact that the last 2 weeks, 4 weeks even, it's been a steady, nice grind higher. And we know that weekly minimum objectives 221.26 for that weekly bat pattern could get this whole thing going. I mean, this could be something, where Amazon or Apple just earlier in development, taking more time. And if it busts through 221, yeah. So, you guys know I've been focusing on these kind of top 10, top 20 tech stocks. I do want to say, I mentioned last week, Intel has been a long-term play, and I started a position on that. We had a nice follow-through. I would be on this. In fact, Intel, I was under 30 there, around 29 on initial entries, but anything under 30.87 against this weekly deep crab pattern for an Intel, I think is a pretty nice area to be looking at. I've even considered call options out of the money to target the 41.36s, December, something like that. Would sound crazy, but I think Intel's in a nice spot here where we get a 3-bar breakout of some sort, which is potentially happening this week. This could start it, could really kick it off. So that's a fairly conservative play, too. It's not really a stretch. Hold on one second. What's going on, chat? I want to shout out to everybody in the chat again. Welcome. Let's give away a book of Volume 3. First person to type in V3. I'll give you away a Harmonic Trading Volume 3. And for those that are new, don't know, if you want to get the books, the PDFs, just go to the basic members page. There's Volume 3. Click on that. Open that. And you can download that. Go through all that material. Every Thursday, we give away a couple gold memberships. I'll give away a book or two. Ivan, you win. All right. I appreciate it. If you've won before, please don't respond, but definitely. Oh, they'll wake up. Appreciate it, David. They will wake up. And, I'd like to get David in on a chat maybe in the next week or two, kind of as a testimonial, have a little testimonial discussion, talk about your experience with harmonic patterns. I think that would be a great way to go. But congratulations. I'll give away another gold membership in a few moments. But back to the charts. Listen, lots of opportunities. I know a lot of the other parts of the market are falling apart, as it seems. Here's Macy's. Check this out. Look at this thing collapse, but right into some major patterns. So, and this has been a straight down, just absolute meltdown. But I'm looking, a lot of markets look like this. And this is a type 2 on a weekly off of the bat, kind of sloppy, but 13's the number. It was as low as 12 today. Shark right there on the weekly. But there are a lot of interesting situations, things that, uh, you know, look better than others for sure. A lot of the techs, like here's Micron. I'm watching these kind of things, but there's Micron on a type 1 bat pattern. But what's more interesting, and especially for those that have the software, I like to highlight things from time to time to be looking at for major markets like this. We have the opportunity for a lot of these stocks to do the big 886 retest. I don't care if you're bullish or bearish right now, the current move that's unfolding is going to run a lot of these big tech stocks to their 886s. There's no doubt about it. The ones that have weekly patterns up there kind of help reinforce the probability, or increase the probability, reinforce some confidence that you have some higher targets to be retested. For example, Micron 69 at the moment, well off the lows at 50, but 87, 88, not a bad thought to be where that could go. Same deal with Tesla. So Tesla's out 206, high of the day. Again, Tesla's got, 220, 221. A couple more. I do want to talk really quick. Mentioned last time that the energy stocks were on a kind of a hard retest, and they've come in, and they're closer than even before. I think it could happen where your whole situation flushes down here because it's a 2 of 2. I mean, look, XLE literally today hit the XA level on the retest and bounce 76.46. So I'm watching this. Some of the bigger, kind of slower industrial stocks have gotten hit recently, but they are retesting major patterns, no doubt about it, for the year. Stuff like this. One or two. I'm not going to spend too much time in there, but Chevron's back down at the hop level, 152. Couple of bounces, but that's a 2 of 2 off the Gartley. Has to hold essentially 150 on CVX, or that's a big breakdown. This could just be something where it's taking its time, but a lot of those type of stocks they're pretty beaten up. A couple of more. Don't want to spend too much time on this, but stuff like here's Philip Morris, one of my most conservative plays, period. Look at all these bullish patterns Philip Morris is printing at the moment. Thought this was really interesting. Stock yields, I think 8, 9%, something insane like that from time to time. A real easy way to look at this is line up all your XA level or hop levels, 41 to 45 generally, but the daily patterns here are, pretty interesting. Slow moving stocks. Oh, here it is. The weekly, same deal on the weekly. Just retesting a lot of support down there. It's a couple of weekly patterns coming together. One of the more recent plays that related to Altria, that is, the old part of Philip Morris, is the Philip Morris right now. So if you're looking for pattern plays, because a lot of patterns like the tech patterns have really played out, you want to see stuff that's happening literally right now. I mean, here's Philip Morris. And if we get a bullish close today, we'll trigger HSI confirmation for the first time. So 91, $90. Also, it's a type 2 off of this this regular crab. Number of interesting plays like that. Seemingly boring, but good, real ideal 2 of 2 patterns into pattern type of situations. Hey Daniel, what's going on? Yes, LAC, Lithium America, another one. I don't think that's fully there yet because you need the retest. The 2 of 2 off of that bat. Take a look. Yeah, back to back, back to back to back. Couple more. Some interesting ones. Listen, here's something I mentioned recently, just kind of overshot, but I think there are beaten up techs, a second level tech area to be looking at. I've mentioned these before. Qualcomm, there it is. Scraping like the 105, 110 area generally. There's a couple of patterns, bigger patterns down here off the all-time high. These are all select individual things that have been crushed, but look like they're setting up. I mentioned this wolf speed before. Keep an eye on it. Down there, trying to come off of 40. Couple of patterns there at 43. And then here's one that got clipped recently and coming back. Snowflake. Yeah, okay, so they bought it right back. It was down 20, back up 20. There you go. Take a look at this. So that's a massive butterfly and snowflake that trying to pop up, break out. And if it breaks out above 180, gets above 200, this is another one where your minimum targets are well above 200, 220, 250. And then, sorry, there was one more. Oh, Twillo. Yep. So someone mentioned Twillo a week or two ago, and I was like, not really crazy. I want to see something. Well, it showed us something. Also, I do remember drawing this downtrend and saying, hey, we need to get to the right of either this really tight downtrend or the CD leg is usually the best way to go. And you're getting close. This has been strong every on a daily session, day over day. Look at what this has done since that bat pattern. Strong type 1. I haven't done anything with that. Obviously, hey, how could that come back to 47? We'll wait and see. But you have this weekly pattern that says more like 67 is the true minimum support level, and that's just all down to 50 is kind of like a overspill test. Is there potential for a larger breakout here? I would be watching, looking for something like go into a full weekly type 1. If it can do that. A few more. Palantir is kind of blowing the doors off of things, and there were some daily, weekly patterns here. Shark, crab pattern. I think this was also like a full 886, and at this point, with where Palantir's breaking out, you can do what's a minimum 382 up to that. Let's say it gets a big surge day, $20, $21. So I would be watching for that because this thing is coming off of here so incredibly strong that we could pop quite hard. One or two more of these individual plays. Check out BTBT, folks. Now 330. So how's the likelihood of this to get above 4 or eventually making real progress to target 1 at 1293? Is that possible now? It seems like, hey, that's a lot more possible now than it did 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm looking at the yellow dot. I'm looking at things where it should be rolling over and it's starting to break out. Been strong. Daily time frame. Look, you're running into this butterfly, but look at what you're doing right at the butterfly. Pause, blow it out right above the hop. So again, things that have been in development for a while are really taking off. Some of the larger ones, and then I would look at things like here's Shopify. I think we've talked about this before. Looking for pullback down to a target 1. This is a prime example of one of these long-term plays that took a year to base out, trying to break out. And we had a pattern. I would look for, this is the exact kind of thing I would look for, where if you can get a type 1 pullback move like 49 bucks, or we get some kind of oversold signal up here and then it continues, that would be the next leg into whatever the July August earnings are. Really quick. Yep. One moment, one moment. Here's Riot Blockchain. Crypto miners have been really interesting because you would think that crypto's been so lackluster, these would be, flailing, not doing much. We know Riot's this massive, that's a couple of patterns. Weekly patterns, mostly on Riot, which is like this. Yeah, there you go. So Riot's been in our wheelhouse for a while, since like $6. Uh, we're at target 1. Just sticking to the framework is the objective for the long-term weekly pattern. Do you make it to 32 or not? That's a longer-term swing proposition that probably takes the better part of a year or 18 months to get there. You're at 12 and change at the moment, but it's making progress. Let me clean up the chart. Take a look at the zone. Beautiful move off the low. We're pausing. 1087 is clear support at the moment. If you're looking to get back into that, it'll be back down there around 11, under a shade under 11, and then play it for the bigger move out of the zone into target 1. That's probably going to require earnings, some kind of earnings. Yeah, it doesn't come till August, but I like it because clearly this reaction off the deep crab, look what happened here. I mean, ideal behavior, price action, but it only gave you a brief pause. And there's the bullish yellow dot, sending it, I think, for now, back to 1436. Interesting setup for crypto. Crypto goes higher on that move, because these, indirectly, these things are going to have to go do the fuller retest. Here's Hut 8 mining. I think this is another one. This got a big pattern. What'd this have down here? Hold on. Was it Hut 8? Might have been a different one. It was one of those smaller miners. I mean, of course, you've got Mara. And Mara's the same deal with that little daily deep crab. This is probably not as strong as Riot's probably the better play, but it's still, this is a type 1 reaction off the deep crab. Just like Riot, I'm thinking back to the zone. If you were bearish on it, you would still want to see that retest the pattern, trigger an overbought reading, and then go down. I like what's happened here because reaction down, over, you go sideways. It's just a matter of time. It just looks like it's setting up. I mean, just it's going to be some kind of catalyst here soon. Almost was with XRP. Really quick, let's jump to crypto. Been seemingly lackluster. Really, I mean, Bitcoin again here, still under 27,000. Remember, it's about this 4-hour pattern and 4-hour time frame. And we have what? Now we have 3 patterns actually. You had 2 before. You had this big bat pattern, smaller crab pattern. Now you have a little Gartley. It doesn't change though. Everything was essentially 26,300. And that's, you could even retest that one more time. But this might drag because, hey, we're 3 weeks away from June 21st. So go ahead and do nothing for 3 weeks, Bitcoin, but don't go under 26.3. Certainly don't go under 25.3. But I would prefer to see this do nothing for 3 weeks and then resume. So keep an eye out on that. Keep an eye on these daily. It's all because of these daily dots. You know, HSI up here, 1, 2. Both of those trying to support it at 26.8. Only concern is, hey, you have to break out of this downtrend at some point. That happens, great. Then you get going again. But you're getting squeezed. 26.8, 26.3. Still the level. Just not a heck of a lot of movement. Ethereum is actually acting better. All right. Bitcoin has, I said this last time, Bitcoin has, more signals, more support trigger there. But Ethereum is trying to do this breakout move. I mean, this is a little bit better where if Ethereum could break out from there, then go, lead it, bust out, go back to 2000 like I said last time. Doesn't change. Binance Coin, total sleeper, holding 300. That's all you need to know. Hold 300 on Binance Coin. 4 XRP. Why not? Because it's starting to move to 50 cents. 52 cents. Okay. Probably overbought right now. Just in the same way it was oversold. Look at that. There's your last daily HSI signal right there. Trying to generate another one. 50, 54 cents maximum. Wouldn't be surprised. You're not in any kind of a moon phase, so any major move up is going to be given mostly back, in my opinion, as you grind higher, no matter what XRP does. And I think everyone understands what's the deal here with XRP is that you are, if you're in it, if you're able to be in it, you're in it because when that announcement comes, we know where it's going. Gap up to 90 something cents. Netflix just hit 52-week new highs. Are you kidding me? I'll go to that in a moment. Thanks for that update. I appreciate that. 406. Wow. That's remarkable. 406 on Netflix. Hold on one second, folks. Let me look then what's. Yeah, same deal on Meta. That is just amazing. Amazing. Anyway, let's hope that can come to crypto soon, right? Couple of more. Let's finish up the list first. So that's XRP's deal. And then the last one is been, could be any of these, but I think Cosmos. And again, Cosmos, Cardano, those both have major patterns that if they retest, that's your opportunity. If they don't retest, then pat yourself on the back for willing to let it go. That's it. Couple of quick requests. Somebody wants to look at Litecoin. Yeah, I see that bumping. There's Litecoin. Hey, up 4%. Yeah, look, well, amazingly, 65 back in March. But maybe go back to 100. That wouldn't be too crazy. Again, you're still dealing with this thing. You know, you're still dealing with the long term, need a better chart, that kind of a thing. But I will say that you're getting to a point of a really interesting weekly wedge pattern pennant. Can you bust that out? These are the type of signals you're going to want to look for as we get closer and closer to all of the ramp up of the Bitcoin narrative, the Bitcoin halving narrative. And that's a nice real consolidation wedge where if you can bust that higher and break out above 102, 103, that would be some positive development. I do like that. Yeah, I do. But I again, we are months and months away from anyone ever thinking you're going to be realizing any kind of major significant moon move. You know, I mean, seriously, what we're looking for is a move in all of these coins where you're doing that coming out of this bear market. I mean, that's really the type of thing, just in general, people are looking for. But that again is not going to happen till down here, and from at least something like that kind of a trend line. You coming off of this primary uptrend. I mean, that's the other general idea also to think about with these weekly long-term trends is you're looking for something to steadily come off the low from the bear market and then do an explosion where we do what we call an accelerated uptrend. And that's with all crypto, that's how you want to be sizing up how this thing is the potential for a larger move, because not all crypto looks like that. Not all crypto looks like that. Here's Chainlink. Okay, totally different. Totally different than Litecoin. And Chainlink, everyone talks about, yeah, Chainlink, that's great. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. That is completely different from Litecoin. I will say that. I'd rather see that Litecoin. Take a look at the difference there. Completely, significant difference in recovery uptrend of that versus that. There's no recovery uptrend in Link whatsoever. But in Litecoin, yeah. And so over 100, easy. But for right now, but these are first steps. These are still like, baby steps to getting yourself to next year. You want to get yourself to next year. No doubt. Couple of more. Um, Here's this render, folks. Nothing big, but this is another one that at least it's got a positive uptrend. And I said this about crypto in our last discussion, that I want to see stuff that has not only done a first thrust like they did in January, but you had a back test, a retest, a retracement, and then you had some major development, 30 weeks or whatever, to start some kind of new trend that's to the right of this. That's why I'm looking at that. Here's something else that I started in on, maybe a little early, but here's this ARPA chain, had a huge thrust up move to 12. This is why when it does something like that, you sell it. When it goes up and it doubles in a day or 2 days, 3 days, you sell it because it's going to come back. So you're back basically almost where you started last week. It's close. It's getting close. There's the uptrend thing. This is what I want to look for on this one. Great first thrust, come back down, and then over the next 3 weeks, do that, and then start this again. Otherwise, your crypto's going to go sideways. It's not going to, a lot of people are asking me, why isn't crypto moving? Where are the opportunities in crypto? Some of the ones we've looked at recently, I mentioned Chili's doing nothing, 10 cents. And at 10 cents, that's probably a bargain, but it might not do much for a while. One or two, the ones to consider, Coinbase, folks. These are kind of related, indirectly related. I'm really intrigued by Coinbase at the moment. Hey, if it's not going to die and go bankrupt, and it's going to hold this 49 level, because remember, take a look at the big pattern, big deep crab pattern. That's scraping the low at 49.76. And so if this is by definition the bear market, which it is, then we should be looking for potential possibilities. I'm just trying to be contrarian here. Think technically it's not a bad spot. Certainly, if you broke above that 83 level and you're only at 60, you're 64 at the moment. Earnings coming up in August, so it's going to be a real wrestling match. See which way that goes. Weekly time frames like that. It's pretty clear what the range, the high, the low, the breakout point. I would have to think, though, that Bitcoin halving has to be positive for this industry, even if it's for a 1 year, 2 year cycle thing. If it's not going out of business. Couple of more. Oh, what was the one? Oh, check this out. So again, stuff that's moving or potential to move. Cartesi. Is this the beginning of some kind of little has to make progress now? But early stages, yes. Matic, no problem. Matic is actually a full retest. Well, beautiful. Nice crab at the top, but here's Matic. And this is some shark action. And I know for a while people were super bullish on Matic when it was at $1.40, but it had a whole bunch of numbers. Mainly that deep crab down there at around 88 cents, where it had to retest, and we went to target one like it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now we're on a retest with a shark, 88 cents. You could start in on it at 88 cents. Ideally, I would love a check back at 83, but that's not a bad one. Solana looks like this. Never got back to that type 2 on the weekly. Well, you are this way. So you have a couple patterns, but all those numbers are 25. Again, this is a different chart than others. You're not in any development stage here. Absolutely needs more time. But, again, just because you're down in a hole doesn't mean it's not going to happen. If anything, you would think, all right, if this is the low and then the halving is going to come next year in 10 months, well, I better be positioning within the next 3 to 6 months, getting ready to ride for the 18-month cycle. Got to think of it like that. I mean, I'm trying to be contrarian while realistic, and then show me some concrete levels, patterns. Things like, here's Ethereum Classic. It's back at the 17 area, and look, whole bunch of I've been saying this for a while. A whole bunch of patterns down here. Nothing yet completely oversold, but I'm watching it. It's been a steady downtrend, no doubt. Again, look at that last 3 peaks there. So you got to break that stuff. You're weeks away, but hey, if it comes down in a flush and then can rebound, that's what you're looking for. One or two more, and I'm gonna have to run early today, folks. So definitely need to kind of get with it. How about we give away one more gold membership? Next person to type GOLD, get you some gold for 30 days. That includes the software. I did want to mention, listen, I said I'd have more information about this options presentation that I'm going to do on options, especially some of the stuff I've been highlighting recently. I probably will push that towards like the last Saturday, I think in June, maybe in about 3 or 4 weeks instead of next weekend. But let me put it together. I really want to do a bang up job on this and introduce how I'm using the patterns. So more to come. More to come on that next week. Brandon Vega, you win a gold membership. Make sure you get the software. And for anybody that's new here, get over to harmonictrader.com, become a basic member, get on the Discord. I'm posting charts over there, and get with the TradingView product, which is to send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com to get 14 days. That's how we have to think about crypto, folks. Again, even if we didn't have patterns up here, we would still say clearly the arrows are pointing lower. Not too many of these are in the pointing in the up direction. Here's one more that I am looking at, the graph. Okay, are we starting? Can we get this kind of a thing? Because you had your January mood, you had your March, April consolidation. Are we trying to make a low here? It's not definite yet, but this is the type of thing I want to look for. Oh, this was the other one I wanted to show before I got out of here. There you go, Ocean. This is exactly the kind of thing, all right? Feel like this has got did the big January thrust, pulls back, and now we have a yellow dot. This is weekly to where we develop something like that. Yeah, Ocean was a good one. Even better on like Binance Feed. just again, crypto is not all crypto is not the same. In fact, I'm thinking maybe there's 5% of the crypto that's really moving, and the rest is continues to make new lows, or it's just complete rug pulls. And someone put that up, whatever that, whatever. One or two more. No, actually, I can't, guys. I got to get out of here today. All right. Thank you, though. I'll be back on Tuesday. I have to run. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody. And we will see you on Tuesday. As always, go get them. And if you have any questions, get to me on Discord. Take care.